About a little bit of your background.
I was raised in Oak Park, Illinois, outside of Chicago. My dad had a farm up in Wisconsin. That's where I learned something about cattle. I learned about judging cattle. He raised polled Herefords, that's registered hornless Herefords. And then I guess when I was in high school, it was in high school that I went with a fellow classmate out to his father's ranch in Montana. And I worked on this 33,000 acre ranch, the T.O. Bar, and learned quite a bit more about it. I wasn't a cowboy, I was a ranch hand, and I did a lot of haying, but it's amazing the stuff that rubs off on you when you, God, I want to be out there. I want to ride a bull. Well, that was the dumbest thing I ever said. I rode a bull. He was a bull calf, almost. He was a little bigger than a calf. And I got thrown off, and I said, that's the dumbest thing I've ever done in my life. I will not do that again. So, but I don't know. I guess I'm an insufferable romantic, so I got filled with the romance of the West. And I loved it. I went back there for a couple of years. I'll go back there again on vacation when I can. But then I spent 31 years, in the military as a soldier. And I thought when I retired, got out, I would go into industry in some big defense contractor with Boeing or McDonnell Douglas or something like that. And then I tried that. And it just wasn't right for me. So I said, I just don't really want any part of that. So this ranch came up for sale. It had been a derelict for years. And it was right on the Mexican border. And I looked at it, and everybody passes by, and I didn't.
When did you get started writing?
Got started writing, wrote 3 poems in 1973 in Vietnam, and they were dark poems, not blue, not not nasty, they're just dark. And I sent them home, and I don't know what happened to them, really. Never knew what happened to them. They got resurfaced the year before last or a couple of years ago. But I'm not a poet, and never thought I was. And I wrote these 3, and I sent them home, and that was the last of my poetic ventures until I went on the Great Montana Cattle Drive in 1989. And I heard a man named Dr. Baxter Black and another man named Wallace McRae from Montana. Black was from Brighton, Colorado. And I said, what a neat way to tell a life's story in a very palatable way. Funny or meaningful or tear-jerking or whatever. But this was a way to get a message across to a lot of people through poetry. And thank God I'm never asked to sing. I don't do that well. But it's been a wonderful trip for me.
What should people do to prepare themselves for the festival? If they're going to go to the gathering, what should they do ahead of time?
Prepare themselves to have a great time.